viral song from 2005. No pensé que nos iba a pasar, fue un descuido tan solo, me podrás perdonar. Sé que tienes razón al pensar que ya no te merezco, y eso es verdad, pero debes creer que contigo siento el amor por primera vez. No te vayas ahora, que no puedo estar sin ti. No te vayas ahora, que no puedo estar sintiéndome tan solo. Piensa un poco y dame otra oportunidad. Necesito estar cerca de ti. Ojalá no haya otro en mi lugar. Paso el día pensando en los dos. Paso el día pensando volver a empezar. En tus manos está. No me dejes así, que sin ti mi vida no es igual. No te vayas ahora, que no puedo estar sin ti. No te vayas ahora, que no puedo estar sintiéndome tan solo. Piensa un poco y dame otra oportunidad. No te vayas ahora, que no puedo decirte adiós. No te vayas ahora, el camino es largo y lloverá una eternidad hasta que te pueda olvidar. Piensa un poco más y dame otra oportunidad. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. Thank you all for coming. Hopefully we'll get a few more people here. Everybody's used to us starting late, huh? I'm Barb Dye with the Colorado Music Business Organization, otherwise known as COMBO. And our program tonight, as you can read, Annette has gone to a lot of trouble here, is on international music. And we have guests live from Venezuela and from Thailand. We might be able to get Miss Russia over there to say a word or two.
We have someone from Norway.
And then Skype will have, what did you finally decide her name was?
Maritha.
Maritha from Norway. And then several of Annette's friends have sent in little videos too to tell you a little bit about the music business in there. Maritha, who's Norway, and it's what, like 3 o'clock in the morning or something?
She actually is in LA right now.
Oh, she's in LA. Oh, good.
She came to LA to do a record. Anyway,
Oh,
we'll get to
cool.
that.
All right, great. Because I had visions of her trying to stay up at 3 o'clock in the morning and
Yes.
talk to us. Our main program will be on some more TV and radio shows that you can get your music on. A new radio station will be called the Blues Debut, and Chop House is the DJ's name. He's going to come out and talk to us. So anyway, June we're going to be supporting the People's Fair, of course, the first full weekend of June, and the guitar show, which will be the last Saturday in June. I think it's the 27th. In July, we're supporting the UMS Underground Showcases, which will be held on South Broadway in that area. And then we'll be doing a tour of the Colorado Music Hall of Fame, and if you're a paid member of COMBO, we'll pay your way into the Colorado Music Hall of Fame. In August, we're supporting the Riot Fest, which they in turn support us financially, which really helps. September, our program will be on unusual places to play that you probably haven't even thought of, where you can actually get paid. October, of course, the Durango Songwriters, we haven't planned a program yet for that. We hope to have a big surprise to announce soon. And Annette is working with homeless children and adults, families. And so she's collecting soap, shampoos, and that. And she happened to think when we were out in California at the Durango Songwriters thing about all those little shampoos and stuff. I see so many people leaving them in their motel rooms. Never even thought to think about it. Grab them, bring them to a Congo meeting, give them to Annette so that she can give them to the shelters and that, because they love those things. You know. So anyway, okay, are we ready?
I think we're ready.
Okay, do you need the microphone or? Yeah, probably.
Y'all can hear me, right? I talk pretty
No,
loud.
it doesn't come in the camera good.
Oh, well, the microphone would be great. Okay. Thank you.
Tea party.
Sorry. Okay, well, welcome. Tonight we have a little bit of program put together for you, and I've made everybody a program, so we're going to try to stick to those times so that we have time to get through everything. And so everybody should have one in front of them. And I also made a little handout that has all of our panelists and guests, a little bio about them. So if you want to get in touch with them later, you can. And underneath each panelist's name, I put a place where you can find their music, which I think will be good. Of course, you can't click on it because it's paper, but you can type it in your URL, and you should be able to go hear their music. So when I started to put this together, I just would give you a little background. I didn't know how I was going to get hold of international music information, so I started like looking up international music. There was so much, it was overwhelming. The different types of music, the different styles, the different genres, everywhere it is. And I have a friend who lives actually in the UK, and she does music production, and she said, I can introduce you to some people. It's like, okay, well this is going to be awkward. So she introduced me to a couple of people on the internet, and they were very gracious and very nice. Immediately said, I will help you, I'm so interested in doing this, I want to connect, and everyone was just very, very nice. So we started talking on the internet, and we talk almost every week. And like Barb was saying, the hours are different. There was one place, I wanted to Skype some people in. There are places that do not allow Skype. They will not allow them in their country to use it. So there has been a lot of technical difficulties getting people to get their information to me. They wanted to use Dropbox. They didn't want to send it in Word. Some people said their internet was extremely slow. It was very difficult for them to download any type of music for me. So what I did is I sent them a list of questions that they could answer. So I had 5 people, and you'll see them listed on here under video interviews, starting at the bottom of the page. And what they did is they made their own video for us. And so they will come on and introduce themselves to you. So I'm going to play their videos, and then we have some panelists here also, and then we're going to have someone on Skype, which I'm going to have to get her on here in a minute. So Navrat Barin, this is Navrat, and he is from Thailand. He came to the U.S. in July of 2014. He studied music at the university, and he has his bachelor's degree in music education. And he's a volunteer teacher at the Thai Temple. And he's been playing instruments for 18 years now, and he majors in string instruments, and he plays the violin. And you might see some of his instruments over here on this table. So they look very different from our instruments that we play here. So he prefers and has his, he's made albums with folk, traditional, and contemporary type music. Right? Okay. And then Alejandro Barro is from Venezuela, and he attended the university also to study some law, and he currently works at the Apple Store, which was great because we have video technicalities tonight, and he is the only reason we have our TVs up. He's also worked as Guitar Center as a manager. You can believe that. So he's got a lot of connections here. And he speaks both English and Spanish. So I looked on his Facebook page, and it says, "Music is a part of my life. I can't live without it. I love rock and roll till the day I die." Right?
Right.
That's it. Okay. And so Moretti is the person that we're going to get on Skype here shortly, and she's a singer-songwriter from Norway. And Barb and I actually met her at the Durango Songwriters out in California. And Andy, I think, did you get to meet Aretha?
Not sure.
No? Okay. She has been playing music since the age of 10 and making up her own songs and singing and playing piano. She just recently attained her artist visa in the United States. So she does vocals for TV2, and she does them for the biggest commercial TV station in Norway. She does jingles and program promos. So she also has featured tracks on a release called Battle Cry that's coming up April 28th, and she just hit the live scene in Los Angeles. So she'll be coming to us tonight from Los Angeles, so she's only an hour difference, which is good. So she says the journey never gets dull, that's for sure, and I'm grateful for every twist and turn. So, like I said, these are YouTubes that I did, so we're just going to play them.
Hello to CONDO combo, to Colorado Music.
This is Richard Vallejos, okay, sorry. And he is in Dubai.
Business organization. Thank you to Jane Moon Productions, and thanks to Annette Cannon for inviting me to be part of this presentation about international music and what music's like in other countries. My name is Ricardo Vallejos, and the kind of music I play is rock, pop, and more rock. With the blues, well, music. In Chile, the music scene is quite active at the moment. We have all kind of genres there. Just imagine, from jazz, rock, pop, progressive, symphonic, classic music, blues, etc. We have many big numbers and international acts coming to the country all the time. Locals band in Chile nowadays, they do travel, they cover the country, showing their expertise. There are many local original bands, and many of them they travel actually. Well, you will know when you play your original music, you will always travel one way or another until you, if you're lucky enough, you break through. Since I was a child, I always have heard music in another language, especially English. The music I was listening to, they were coming from the States or from England, even before Elvis times. There are companies in Chile, independent ones, that they will take your material, your CDs in this case, and they will distribute it in certain stores. Now the other way, if you take your own CDs to these stores, the owners will, most of them, they will be happy to put it on the shelves and to display it for you. The price of the CD in my country are just international prices. Well, I don't know what the prices are in the States right now, but if you pay $10 in the States, probably in Chile you have to pay $9 or $10 as well. The answer is absolutely yes. There are some radio stations that always are they're willing to interview artists coming from abroad. And they go to the concert, they interview the artists, or they invite them to the radio. So even this radio station, they managed to interview big names. That's a tricky question because I don't know exactly what the answer might be. But I would say if you do a research in the internet, I've done it myself, and you'll find promoters there. I have never paid any fee, perhaps because I never played like a big scale concert. But I know in Chile you will, depending on the scale of the concert, you will have to pay something. And nowadays it's the most expensive country in South America. I'm talking about the cost of living in general. But however, you have a wide range of places to stay, that you are an artist and a musician, so you always will find people that will be happy to host you. You won't break a bank if you were staying there. We do have street players in every city, and throughout the years you will find them, and they're very good ones, as I must say. But I know now that in certain areas of the city you will need to have a license, so that then you can make a pretty good income, I believe. It's the last thing I would like to share with you. On the end of May, I will be joining a band that's called Nadie Está Normal, which translates as Nobody's So Normal in English. So we'll be touring some cities in Chile, Argentina, and there are conversations to play in Mexico City as well. So fingers crossed. I'm happy for this because my background is always been playing in original music bands. And I respect that a lot. You have to do a lot of sacrifices when you dare to write your little song and put it out there. So I'd like to thank Annette Cannon for this opportunity. All the best from me to all of you. Thank you very much.
Did that was he lives in Dubai, but he's from Santiago, Chile, so that's why he was speaking a lot about Chile. That's your country, also. Great country, okay. He's a singer-songwriter and attended the university in Chile, and he speaks English and Spanish. Not only is Ricardo a musician, but he teaches guitar, and he produces music along with producing recordings and videos. The next person that we have is Ashish Dangal, and he lives in Nepal, and it was very difficult to get his stuff because of the slow internet connection, so we spent quite a bit of time talking on the Facebook chat, trying to get this in. He is a director and producer at Nekbam Studio. He's an artist, a freelance photographer, and a guitarist, composer. He studied literature. He speaks 4 languages. He's been playing the guitar since the age of 15. He released his first album called Free Spirit with his band in 2004, and his second album, Free Spirit 2, in 2008. He has completed his first international tour in Spain in 2007 and has done tours a lot of other places like Germany and Scotland. He has been given the title of Himalayan Hendrix, which I thought was very interesting, by the German and Norwegian press. And he is considered as the first successful international band from Nepal. So, I'm going to play his.
Hello, Colorado Music Business Organization. Thank you, J-Mon Promotions and Annette Cannon for inviting me to be a part of this presentation about international music and what music is like in other countries. I am Istanbul from Nepal. I play blues, rock, funk and fusion-based music. In our country, we have lots of different genres of music we play, but mostly we have folk-based music, modern music. We have lots of rock bands, especially heavy metal, thrash, death metal bands, lots of college bands. We have lots of pop bands, few classical-based bands. I travel mostly in Europe to play with my band. We have been traveling in Europe since 2007 till now. Yes, in our country, people listen to all kind of music. Yes, American music, Korean music, lots of Indian music, Chinese music, English music from UK, music from Europe. Yes, all part of the world. In store we have lots of varieties of music from modern jazz to classical to blues, rock, heavy metal, punk. If we want to buy any bands, like if you want to buy the Eric Clapton CD or Jimi Hendrix CD, you can just go in the store and buy them. It's very easy to. Nowadays the price of the Nepali CDs is 250 rupees. It's equivalent to like $2.5. Yes, if any touring or visiting musician is coming to Nepal from America, yes, our radio station, FM station, they do interview them in English and they do promote them. Nowadays, lots of new event management companies promoting lots of different varieties of musicians all over the world. Last time we had Brian Adams from Canada. We had lots of Bollywood singers coming, lots of classical musicians from India. We have musicians coming from Norway, Denmark. But most of the time, the embassy do the promotional campaign for the musician from their country. So it's easy if they come with the cultural exchange program. Yes, we do sign the contract before we go for a tour. Mostly our tour managers and sometimes our friends do manage our gigs in other countries. And before we go for the performance, we have to sign the contract. Nepal, as a whole, Nepal is cheap, but if you want to stay in Kathmandu, then sometimes it's expensive. It depends on your budget price. If you are coming as a cultural exchange program, then you can stay with families too. Sometimes the embassy will provide you lodging and fooding and all the travel expenses. I think it's cheaper than in your country, in Nepal. We don't mostly play in the street, we don't have that culture, but more than 10 years before, some musicians used to travel door to door and play songs, and they used to earn money. We are looking forward to see your band in Kathmandu soon. And for Tone of Love, I like to play a tune for you.
Blues Society. So they have a blues society other places, so. Okay. So this next person is Kareem Hassem, and he lives in Cairo, Egypt. He's a 23-year-old singer-songwriter. He works in social media for a living. But he is also a freelance writer for Discord Music magazine. He also attended the University for Marketing and International Business. And he's been writing lyrics for about 5 years and playing guitar for about 3 years. And he taught himself very basic guitar stuff off of the internet by playing covers. And started taking lessons recently to further the development. Most of his gigs feature other artists at pubs and bars around Cairo, as well as he goes out and he plays the open mics just like we do here. His eventual plan is to record an album properly with all his originals. So this is Kareem.
Songwriter stuff, basically. The music scene in Egypt, it's been growing for a few years. There's a lot of underground bands coming through, a lot of R&B and hip-hop as well, singer-songwriters, acoustic cover bands. Metal scene, there's a lot of genres that you can listen to here. Do I travel also with music? I don't really, because I consider myself to be a bit of a beginner. But yes, I mean, I play a few gigs here and there, but mostly in Cairo. But that's as far as I've gone with music. Story-wise. Are people in my country open to hearing music from America? I mean, that's the deal with it. I mean, you listen to music from America all the time. It's kind of difficult not to with the internet now. But yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of people here who listen to all the pop stuff. You've got Rihanna, Jay-Z, Beyonce. You've got a lot of fans for that music over here. I mean, it's not something that's uncommon. A lot of people here even listen to very unknown American music. You've got a lot of people who love you've got a lot of people who listen to old American music. You've got a lot of people who listen to the new pop stuff. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people here listen to foreign music in general. How to get our CDs, your CDs in our stores? I mean, we already do have American CDs in stores here in Egypt. I mean, you've got Virgin Mega stores, you've got any retail store that has anything to do with music has a lot of CDs from foreign countries, mostly England and America. Will the radio stations interview an English-speaking musician from America? Of course. I mean, we've had several concerts here in Egypt where the foreign singers and artists have come over for a concert, and they've done interviews with the English radio station that we've got here at 9FM. How can people in America hook up with promoters for festivals in your country? Will they pay a fee even if there is no fan base there? I mean, if there's no fan base, it's very difficult to get a fee. But there's festivals picking up now that play sort of during the holidays outside of Cairo, and they will be willing to bring in international artists, but usually for a minimal fee. When you travel to another country to play, do you get asked for a deposit or a payment, determine a percentage of pay, and do you have it written in your contract? Well, I haven't played outside of my country, so yeah, I can't really answer that. How expensive is it to stay in Cairo or Egypt. If touring was staying there for a festival, are there families staying there? Usually, if you know someone, you can find a family to stay with or a place to stay. But other than that, you've got places that you can stay that are quite cheap. It's not a huge problem finding somewhere to stay for little money. Do we have street players and can they earn a living like this? Unfortunately, we don't have street players. Usually, the people who rarely do you find someone who plays music on the street, and if they do, they're usually quite poor, and they're basically beggars, unfortunately. So I mean that's the case with street players. It's very rare thing that you see here in Cairo or Egypt for that matter. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it from for me. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you, Annette, for having me do this. And thank you to anyone who's going to see this, basically. Take care.
Are we ready? Okay. So this person is Nate Hammond, and he lives in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. And he is the owner of a fitness training academy, but he is also a singer-songwriter at MAYAN Fox. And MAYAN Fox is his band. I didn't realize that. I took it as a place that he played. But it is actually the name of his band.
The Mayan and the Fox Theater.
MAYAN Fox, this is what came to my mind. So I've learned a lot about this stuff. He attended the Church College of New England, and he's lived in all kinds of places. He lived in Hawaii, South Wales, and he even lived in New Orleans. He sings and plays rhythm guitar, and it's quoted by him, in the best exotic pop band, MAYAN Fox, in Queensland. So that's his statement. He is also known as a drummer among his friends, and he writes and publishes children's books. So this is Nate.
Hello, British Colorado Music Business Organization. Thank you to Jamie Promotions for inviting me to be part of this presentation. Thank you, Nate. My name is Nate, and I'm called MAYAN Fox. And chance to start promoting my name, I'm T-shirt. And that's not saying that. So someone from Australia? Oh yeah, from Australia. We play a fusion of rock, pop, reggae. Playing the music in the background. More shameless self-promotion. Okay, so far as traveling and touring, we love to travel and tour. We like to tour around the local, coast to coast. We like to get out of the country as well. We do pretty well in the Philippines. Got down to Canada and New Zealand. We like to get out. And so I know that a lot of you listening like to get out or want to get out as well, and you're considering Australia as an option. But what if you don't have a fan base? So that's one of the questions. What if we don't have a fan base? How does it work? It works just like, in my experience from traveling in other countries, just like any other country. The best thing to do is to piggyback with other bands that are already setting up gigs, and to not be fussy, particularly if you don't have a fan base already, you can't be fussy with the venues that you're picking, big stages and that sort of thing. So you can tour in Australia. There are plenty of venues that are open to international acts, and just by being an international act, that's a little cool itself. And the band that you're piggybacking with, that will help them with the promotion as well, who are playing with this American band from Colorado or wherever you're from. Well, what about festivals is one of the questions that was asked. How to get in touch with promoters. Most festivals you've got to go to the website and even fill out online forms that you'll find on the website. Usually, of course, it's well ahead of time, so you've got to get in early, know when you're touring, think outside the square, and sort of music festivals. You'll find that most festivals, or a good majority anyway, will have live music, whether as part of it. It could be a food festival, it could be a writers festival, it could be a film festival, and they'll want to have live music to entertain the audience at some stage. other than that, local festivals, there's always local festivals happening. And they don't pay a lot, it's often stipend. It's enough to give you guys a feed and to maybe pay for accommodation. Often there will accommodation be part of the package as well, you know, a rider, etc. You can cut your expenses by finding billets, you know, talk to the bands that you're hooking up with, piggybacking with, and just ask the question, oh, you know, is there anywhere, you know, that we can stay for the night, crash? We're happy to crash on the floor or the couches. Because people are very friendly here in Australia, and at least in my experience, and I've lived all over the world, just, yeah, don't go to Wolf Creek. Alright, is it expensive touring? I mean, we've toured Canada, and that's as close a comparison as I can give, I guess, to Colorado, other parts of the States, because I haven't toured there, and it was comparable. Food and accommodation and petrol, etc., was fairly comparable. So, you know, if you can do a good fundraiser beforehand, cover your costs, and then hopefully break even with album sales or merchandise sales while you're here, then you'll be sweet.
Alright, somebody asked about getting their CDs into the shops over here. To be honest, just like everywhere else in the world, there's limited shelf space for hard copies. So just consider writing a long tail and you know, worry about digital sales. Bring your hard copies and your other merchandise on tour and make money off selling it. Part of your live show.
But yeah, you're welcome to look us up and you know, see if we're playing anywhere, and we're happy to be, you know, if we're joining bands, to have you come on the ride with us. Yeah, just drop us a line, and hopefully we'll see you in Australia soon. And hopefully we'll reciprocate that, and then we can get to your country. Alright, thank you.
So he was entertained. Okay. Okay, and then our last person is Duncan Webb, and he lives in Edinburgh, the UK, and he plays bagpipes. And I don't believe that he paid any bagpipes for us on this video, but I wish he would have. He plays them everywhere. He's attending the University of Edinburgh for engineering. He speaks English and French, and he's played as a professional bagpiper since 2009. And he enjoys his vibrant music scene in Glasgow. And he plays in a drum and pipe band called Planadonia. And so if you look up Planadonia on, you know, Google that, you'll find a great picture of these bagpipers and drummers, and they play all over. So here is Duncan.
Hello to Combo, the Colorado Music Business Organization. Thank you to Jamin Promotions and to Annette Cannon for inviting me to be part of this presentation on international music and what other countries' music scenes are like. My name is Duncan Webb, and I play with the Scottish band Planadonia. Our genre is best described as being bagpipes and drums. It's not your classic regimental style, and perhaps best to describe it as neo-Celtic, although we go with the term tribal, because if you have a listen, you may understand why. The music scene here, it's a vibrant scene. There's many venues. The majority are in Glasgow and Edinburgh. Caters to up-and-coming bands as well as big international names, so there's a huge variety of acts coming in. Glasgow is a strong street music performance scene as well, especially in the summer, though not exclusively. And Edinburgh also has a strong summer music scene, revolving generally around the Edinburgh Festival and the Fringe Festival and the Tattoo. Edinburgh is also running Night Vision, which has been going on for the last maybe year, 6 months to a year. It's run along with local clubs, with big DJs and producers coming in. It's to try and kickstart the Edinburgh music scene, because for a long time Glasgow has overtaken in that respect. There are a variety of genres, ranging from producers to indie rock to folk, Kaylee, us. Yeah, there's a huge variety of acts. Do we travel tour? Yes, we do. Last July we played for the Harley Owners group in Croatia. They run things across the globe, but we played for a few of the European ones. Also some other folk festivals within Europe, the mainland. We played in Italy, Poland and Germany just in the last summer. There is a potential UK tour this coming summer, though that's to be confirmed, shouldn't be taken as gospel. Are we open to hearing US music in the UK? Yes, definitely. In my opinion, the UK and the US music scene are, I mean, it's over the internet a lot now, so it's a fairly fluid platform. Moving onwards, how to get CDs in our stores? You're best talking to HMV, for example. I know that they're the biggest, I think, stocker of CDs in Scotland and the UK. There aren't that many CD vendors apart from second-hand shop. Most of it's online now. Radio stations interviewing US musicians and promoters, yes, definitely. Obviously it would help if you had made a name for yourself in the UK, but it's an open platform and interviews are common. How to look up the festival promoters here? Best done by city. Edinburgh runs 12 festivals, I think, and it's organised by one group, so basically if you get into the one, you're probably going to get a whole range of offers. We also have festivals such as Tea in the Park. Rockness isn't running anymore, but there are a few festivals, a lot in the summer that you could talk to. To do with fees, I couldn't say. It's worth inquiring individually, basically. Traveling to the country, or no, traveling to other countries, is generally for events rather than typical gigs. We ask for a deposit and a set fee, and generally, yeah, it's in the contract or itinerary. To do with expenses for coming to the UK, it depends on your city, but anything from £30 to £50 for a basic room, maybe upwards per night. To do with staying with families, if you've heard of couch surfing, there's that. It's not always an option. It depends on who is travelling and what they're willing to stay in. Street players, do we have them? Yeah. I mean, for example, we perform in the streets, though we are changing band image and direction at the moment for this coming summer. We used it to build fan base, mainly through our Facebook page, but yeah, that's now progressing. Some people can make a living from it, but generally it's for supplementing income and for enjoyment and just to get your name out there. Thank you Combo and Genuine Promotions. I hope this has provided some insight into the UK music scene and that you enjoy our music. I've been Duncan from Clanadonia. Goodbye. Hello to Combo, the Colorado Music Business Organization.
Okay, so that concludes the people on the interviews that came over. So now we want to just move on to our panel guests. And while they're talking, I'm going to try to get Maritha on the Skype for us so she can join in with the panel conversation. So why don't we start with you, Alejandro, and you just tell us a bit about you and a bit about your music.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for the invitation. Well, as you know, I'm from Venezuela. I came to the U.S. 8 years ago. I became American last year, actually. Thank you. Now I can vote. Anyway, my music influence. I started playing guitar when I was 8 years old in Venezuela. I started with a classical guitar because we had a lot of Spaniard influence with classical music mixed with the Venezuelan traditional music as well. And believe it or not, in Venezuela we have a big influence in British and American rock, especially British. I remember my first album when I was 8 years old was A Hard Day's Night by the Beatles. I saved money for my allowance. My dad took me to a record store, and it was the best day of my life. Then my second album, I remember, was Genesis. It was the album Duke from 1980. I'm a big Phil Collins fan. And after that, I started listening to rock from Argentina and a few bands from Venezuela too, which are very popular. One of the songs I play is from a band called Aditus. It was a huge band back in the 80s. And another band that I listen to is Soda Stereo. It's from Argentina. That's one of the biggest influences when I play electrical guitar. And regarding my experience as a musician, I played like over 5 bands in Venezuela, from pop, soul, jazz, and rock. But definitely rock is in my blood. It's weird because I grew up in a family where everybody listened to salsa, merengue, and I don't dance. So when my dad told me, okay, what would you like to play? I would like to play electric guitar like Clapton, Hendrix. And he was, who are those? Anyway, and I remember one thing that it blew my mind when I listened to the album Red by King Crimson. Robert Fripp, I don't know if you listen to him, is amazing. Anyway, unfortunately, I was listening to what other people were saying regarding going to the country and play. Unfortunately, Venezuela right now is a very difficult situation. It's not easy to get there. Now, as an American, you need to get a visa to play, even for 3 or 4 nights. It's not impossible, but it's a matter to get contacts. And you can. I will go through the American embassy, and they can hook you up and find a good shows that you can play there. Well, yeah. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nawanat Bolin. I come from Thailand. If you know Thailand, yeah. For my album, first album, maybe I'm 16 years old. I have one album. Yes, because for this traditional music, like for Thai. Also is I don't know what is the make for the record. For the record,
Translators here. Alright, so the majority of the album that he does is selling. Okay, so the majority of album that he produces is mostly selling ideas rather than, well, he works with a director instead of making the music like his own like production. Yeah, he works with a director. So after he produces an idea, he has to confirm it with the director, and therefore album is produced. And there are multiple, genres that he produces, such as contemporary, folk, and traditional Thai music. Okay.
I'll open it up for questions, if anyone has questions for them. Oh, Maret, I'm sorry. Maretha. Call her M. Okay.
Hi, how are you?
So, good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I can only see the panel. Hello.
Hi.
There are people. Yay!
Waving at you.
Okay, ask her to tell a little bit about herself.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your music?
Okay. I am a singer-songwriter. I started singing before I started talking, so I was annoying the crap out of my dad because I wouldn't shut up when I was little. I started playing guitar when I was 15, started a rock band. We tried to do an all-girl rock band, but I'm from a little island outside of Bergen, Norway, so there were not enough girls that could play instruments. So we had to have some boys there too. But that worked out fine. And then after that, I went off to a boarding school and left the band in Bergen, so getting back and forth was kind of expensive. So that's when I started the singer-songwriting with my acoustic guitar. So after that, I've played in different bands, mostly rock, and I have done vocals for a composer who does all the TV music for a TV station in Norway. And also I've done vocals for a composer who is from Norway but who lives here in LA. And that's been going on for about 10 years now and still happening. I just got my artist visa 2.5 months ago. So I am now allowed to stay and work in the States, finally. And I ran into Annette and Barbara in Santa Barbara. So that's how I ended up looking at you guys.
Thank you. Okay. So I think we just kind of want to open it up to some questions.
Yeah, my question is, are there artist visas that go to Europe and other places? Does anyone know?
So are there artist visas that go...
Would I have to get an artist visa if I want to travel to Europe?
Would she have to get an artist visa if she wanted to travel to Europe from here?
I do believe so. Norway is not part of the UN, so I don't know what the rules are for other countries in Europe, but as for Norway, it's pretty strict. It's so weird how musicians are looked at as some sort of threat. I don't get it, but I do believe so. I'm actually not 100% sure if that goes for festivals and stuff, but I'm sorry, I don't have a good answer for that.
Okay, thank you. So Alejandro may have something for us.
I think, especially in the UK, correct me if I'm wrong, since you're in Europe, you were there. In the UK, you can go for 6 months with your regular American passport, but the UK says if you're gonna stay for more than 6 months, then you need a work visa, especially if you're gonna get money from any show that you make. So they have a department like the IRS. I don't know what's the name over there, but yeah, you will need a visa in the UK. I don't know in the other countries.
So just like any foreign country, you do need a visa even though you're a teacher. Normally a visa lasts about 6 months.
Once they make money here, how much do they have to declare when they go back?
Yeah.
So if you're here and you're working and you go back to your country, how much money do you have to declare? Like maybe,
do they tax them over there?
Do you get taxed over there as well when you make the money here? So go back here to Alejandro.
Currently in Venezuela, you don't have to declare anything in terms of if you got money in the U.S., like playing music or any related to shows or anything related to art. You will declare if, like any other country, when you buy, I don't know, for example, musical instruments, or if you buy clothes or you buy electronics. that kind of stuff that you have to declare even in other countries, not only in Venezuela. But currently in Venezuela, I know that you don't have to, for the moment.
Kim?
Yes, the mic, here.
Here you go. Go ahead.
I don't know, I know that we have a tax agreement between Norway and the States so that I don't have to pay double taxes, that's for sure. Because not too long ago, you could end up paying taxes both places. So now it's there's an agreement where I pay taxes in the States for what I make here, and then in Norway they kind of balance it out so that I pay the same amount that I would have paid in Norway, but a piece of it goes to the States, sort of, if that makes sense. Norway is a very tax-aware country, so we pay taxes on everything at least 3 times over there.
Thank you.
So in the case of Cruz Camarat, he's actually a volunteer teacher for the Thai temple, and therefore he doesn't have to basically report to the Thai or U.S. government.
That's the way you do it, volunteer.
So no income, no taxes, right? Is that correct? Okay.
So you volunteer to teach in the country you want to go play at.
Right, so someone from here could go there and volunteer to teach music. Okay, okay, good. Anyone else have a question?
So what about the process of copywriting, like in a different country?
Oh, yeah.
Is it similar, different?
So what the question is the process of copywriting your music, is it similar to the process of copywriting your music here in the U.S.? Alejandro?
Yes, it's very similar. There's a government department in Venezuela that controls that. Here in the U.S. is ASCAP, I think, is one of them, if I'm not mistaken. BMI. In Venezuela, there's only one. But normally, what?
That's not copyright. That's something else.
Oh, sorry.
Library of Congress here.
Oh, okay. But what musicians in Venezuela they do is do the copyright in the U.S. because the international law between Venezuela and U.S. is very similar in that term. And we Venezuelan musicians, we find more protection to our songs under the U.S. law compared to Venezuela law, because probably many of you know, right now in Venezuela there's a dictatorship, so there's not too many guarantees. Yeah, exactly. So that's why they decide, no, I want to register my song in the U.S. And that's what we're doing lately.
And I can also just add something to that, because I'm writing a song with a guy in Brazil, and I asked my entertainment attorney, actually Dave Ratner, about copyright. He said there's a treaty between a lot of countries so that you can copyright in the United States and it will carry over to the country that you're co-writing, and you can still copyright your stuff in like Venezuela, or Rodrigo is going to copyright in Brazil, but like you said, there's more coverage in the United States.
Right, so in Thailand, if a music is considered older than 50 years, is considered as the music of the country, therefore anyone can take it. But if it's younger than 50 years, then there is copyright law for that, and you could be fined.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Is that me?
That's you, Anne.
So in Norway, we also have with one company, Tono, who's doing, that's the equivalent of ASCAP and BMI. So they're doing all the registration of songs and making sure everybody gets their cut. And as I understand it, if you're co-writing with someone from another country, then there is, you know, the internet. Everybody's registered, so you have to find their number or something, like organization number, a membership number or something, and then you put the percentage in when you register the song. So you put the percentages that you share in, and then they're supposed to take care of making the money go where it's supposed to go. If that answers that question?
No.
Okay, anybody else have another question? Yes, Andy.
I had a number of questions that were popping up, but I guess this is an open-ended question.
Open-ended question.
Some of the videos talked a little bit about impressions between music in the States and in their respective countries. We're always talking about the music scene here and how can we improve it. Of course, we're all relatively local to Colorado, or different places that we're from. But the kind of thing I was wondering was, do you know a number of musicians from where you are who are employed part-time or full-time in music, or just do it as a hobby? Just trying to get an idea of what the scene is like.
Okay, so he's asking more, what is the scene like where you're from? Are there a lot of people who are employed with maybe a part-time job somewhere? Do they have to have other jobs to support their music,
well,
basically?
To give you an example, the United States right now is dealing with the idea of health care coverage for...
You want to come talk to us so she can hear you?
I don't want to make a big speech, I'm just...
I can hear. Oh, she can hear you. Okay, good. Okay.
That's super sonic ears.
All right.
Just an example, I've talked to musicians from other countries who don't have to worry about health coverage because they've got it. And we've been having that conversation for a number of years now. In addition to that, I'm wondering any other impressions you have about coming here and what you've seen and what you're used to back home, pointers that we might get from all of that. That's all.
Ready? You want to answer that, Em?
In Norway, most of the musicians, I would say, have either part-time jobs or have multiple ways of getting an income, because it's so expensive over there, and only a few that we would call celebrities can kind of survive on music alone. And also Norway has a lot of funding, so you can apply for money and get support from a government like that. Your second part was about healthcare and stuff?
Yes.
Norway has healthcare for everyone, but the thing you don't get when you're a musician full-time is you don't, I don't know the right words for it, but you can't kind of build for your pension, or whatever you would call it. Like, as in my case, I stopped having normal jobs a few years ago, and I've been able to make it without having those, but the downside is that I have not been building for a pension. And now as I've come to the States, I'm sorry, there's an airport nearby. I don't know if you can hear it.
We were wondering.
As in my case, when I came here, and if I stay in the States for years, then I lose my health benefits in Norway. So that could be a problem. But I do think that other countries are better at treating music and musicians or artists as an actual job. I think Germany and Holland, or at least Germany, I think they're doing some great things there.
Everybody has a full-time job because the payment there is extremely bad. You can get, let's say, a band of 4 members, the payment could be between $40 or $60, which is nothing. For the night. Thank you.
Okay.
Alright, so in Thailand, I would say there's a lot of freelance musicians. There are, I think every street we have a lot of street musicians, and therefore I think healthcare is really loose back in Thailand. But if it was organized musicians, such as volunteer teachers, I would say for organized musicians, I think healthcare encompasses such as copywriting and just overall healthcare also is really in a way strong, whereas it's enforced. It forces, it encompasses copywriting. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Did you have a question?
I did. So I've got the wild idea that I want to go tour in your country, in Venezuela, in Thailand, in Norway. Talk me through the best strategy. Should I bring my own equipment, or is there a place I can rent it there? Who would I contact when I get there, as far as, to set me up, booking?
And what's one song you should learn?
Okay, so in case, did you hear all that, Maritha, or I'll just repeat it?
Can you repeat?
He wants to go to your country. He wants to hop on a plane, and he wants to tour. And so should he try to get his own equipment over there, or should he just come on over and rent somewhere? And if so, how does he get started? Where does he go? And what song should he learn?
Which song should he learn? Oh dear. First of all, Norway is a very expensive country, and it's about the same size as Colorado, but it's stretched thin. So touring there means a lot of driving. And I would say that for a band, is it a full band or is it a one?
It's just Mark. He's just coming over, and
but I'm bringing my band.
He's going to bring his band, though.
And
okay. So if you're bringing a band, the best way to go about, if you want to go to Norway and play with your band, is to find a Norwegian band who plays similar music so that you would share a crowd, and then do you gig together. So you book gigs together, because that way you can split expenses and you can share the gear. And the Norwegian band would then
They can couch surf.
So how much is a typical gig pay in Norway?
How much does a gig pay?
Hang on.
So
Okay.
for an 8-piece band.
8-piece band in Norway.
For an 8-piece band, well, it's not a per person type of payment. If you're lucky, because it really is hard to get paid. But if you're doing, some places have, if you play a weekend somewhere, I think it's like a 2-day gig with 2 or 3 sets or something, you can get about $2,000 for that. But then you'll have to split that between the 8-piece band.
Okay, thank you.
And what about equipment?
What about equipment?
Because we have a different electrical system here in America.
Oh yeah, that's true, but there are converters.
Right. So are you familiar with any, say, American bands that have gone to your country to play? Did they bring their equipment with them, or is it provided over there? Do you share the equipment with that Norwegian band?
When you say equipment, are you talking about amps?
Yeah,
and
amps, yeah.
Because I would not, it would be more expensive, I think, to haul around if you don't have a very, very specific amp that is like vintage and Elvis touched it or something. To haul that from the States to Norway, I don't think, you'd have to gig a lot to make up for the money that would cost, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, I think they rent equipment there and then they haul that around.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So what he would recommend is bring your own equipment, because in Thailand there's not really there's not really like amplifiers or guitars, you might say. There's only traditional instruments. And I would say one music that you should probably need to know is called Kan Kao King Koi, or translated is That Eating Banana. And I think that's a really good piece to know, because it's really in like an audience catcher. It has this like really rhythmic, fast-paced tempo, and that's what we're gonna play tonight as well.
Oh, I forgot about the song. You have to know, what does the fox say?
All right.
Say that again, what you said.
What does the fox say? All right, so
Okay, in Venezuela you have two choices that I consider they're, I would say, more serious and responsible. The choice number one is through the American Embassy. So the Department of State can get in contact with the American Embassy in Venezuela, and they have different festivals around the country that you like. What's the name again? Sorry.
Lorette.
Yeah, I was saying you gig with Venezuelan bands, and then the American band will close the show. Will be the the headliner pretty much. They will pay for your hotel, 5-star hotel, and they will pay for transportation too. The only thing you have to pay is the domestic flight. So that's the best choice through the Department of State. The second choice is a website that is called, translated in English, is newbandsfestivals.com. In Spanish is festivaldenuevasbandas.com. They are based in the capital of the country, and they get in touch with the most popular bands, depending on your style, and they hook you up with the venues, and they play well. When they see American band, they, oh, sure. You have to pay for your hotel. They cover the domestic flights, but you have to pay your ticket from the U.S. to Venezuela. So the second choice, so-so. I will go for the first, definitely. Regarding equipment, normally they provide the amps that you need, drum set. They give you the choice. If you want to bring your own guitar, fine. But normally they provide all that. And as you know, the system is the same in the U.S. We have 110, so you don't have to worry about adapters. That's good. Regarding what you had to play, anything Green Day, Metallica, they will love you forever. Trust me, I know that.
Can I just add something, please?
absolutely.
Because I saw in the questions that you sent in the email, Annette, that one of the questions were, would the radio stations want to interview artists from America and so on? And I have to say that if any American artists or bands if they want to come to Norway and play, it's a huge bonus if it says U.S. in a parenthesis behind a band name, because for some reason that alone makes it cool. And radio stations love to have Americans visit their radio shows because they love to speak English.
Good.
And so it's a big up as an American band to come to Norway. It's just that you have to find an inn where you actually get paid, or have to find some way to get your head out of the crowd type of thing.
Okay.
But yeah.
Did you have something to add to that?
Yes, I want to go. You can come to Colorado. My wife is a great cook, so we have a great couch, and we can talk about business. Yeah. What I would like to add is, it's possible, to get your name out there. And I agree with you. Same happened to me in Italy. I have a sister who is a drummer, and professional drummer. She lives in Italy. And when I went last summer to visit her, I said, "Where do you come from?" "America." "Oh my God, what are you doing here?" "No, just on vacation." "Can I go back with you?" So they really like American bands. And I went to a show, and they were like this tribute to Guns N' Roses, and great sound. People were crazy, just crazy. Anything that says, like you were saying, U.S., they love you. And I'm American, so it makes me feel better.
Do you have anything you'd like to add? Anything else? Okay, they're okay.
I want to hear Navarat play his.
Okay, so then we're right at that point. I was just checking the time. So on your program, we're right on at 8:30, just a few minutes after. So this is our conclusion. I just wanted to thank Navarat, thank you, and Eddie, his translator, and Alejandro, thank you, and thank you, Maurice Solbat. Thank you, Kirk and Liz. We appreciate you being here, and because this is being filmed and it's going to be put on our website, I also want to thank Ricardo Vallejos, Ashes Dengal, Nate Hammond, Duncan Webb, and Kareem Hossam. So that concludes this portion, and now we're going to have some music. And I thought, Marek, I don't know, it looks like you've got something there in front of you. Do you have your piano kind of set up?
Okay, this is a song called Taller. It's like a fog just lifted. I can see for miles into the clear horizon. My sun is rising. I'm done second guessing. I caught my second wind, and I plant both feet on solid ground. Breathe in the truth I found. This new dawn holds promises no longer out of reach. I feel taller from up here in the problem. Smaller, I'm soaring. This is what it's like to be the eagle. Blue skies as far as the eye can see. I've heard way too many arguments, also empty, trying to convince me that I'm wasting my energy. So close to resigning, but it felt like dying. I grabbed onto my core. No need to prove myself no more. This new dawn holds promises no longer out of reach. I feel taller from up here. Any problems smaller. I'm soaring. This is what it's like to be the eagle. Blue skies as far as the eye can see. I've been running circles all my life, looking for answers. Am I good enough? I never really felt I was. Took a billion tears, but I figured it out. I stopped comparing to everyone else. My house of doubt turned to dust. And it's like a fog just lifted. I can see for miles into the clear horizon. My sun is rising.
still I feel taller from up here in your pearl amber. Smaller, smaller. I'm soaring. This is what it's like to be the eagle. Blue skies, and as far as the eye can see. I'm taller from up here in your pearl amber. Smaller, smaller. I'm soaring. This is what it's like to be the eagle. I can see for miles. My sun is rising.
Thank you so much.
I've been quiet for 5 days.
All right.
That was fun.
So, Deborah, would you like to play some of your instruments? Okay.
We will be performing 2 songs for tonight. The first song will be Fun Neo, which is the Thai traditional folk song. The second song is Kang Kang Kim Gui, which is the local song of Central Thailand. Right, well, enjoy.
You want to take this with you to put on the stage?
The first song is Pin Piak, like a very soft sound, like when you need the insight or you believe something, you can close your eye and listen, right? With tree and bamboo. Yes. For this style is the monochord. It's one piece instrument can play melody. Whole song is a monochord. Really exciting and very good. My student is a fun. sing with Baduang, right? This maybe is a cute song and really fast melody. Right?
This is a song you need to learn how to play.
Yeah.
Let's go to Thailand.
For this scale of Thailand have the whole note, 7 notes. When you spread or when you suppress frequency of one octave, you can play the whole note in 7 notes. Suppress sometimes you is don't understand for sound. What is the
So sometimes it's untuned, but it is in a different key instead of the Thai key, which is B from. And he'll demonstrate it right now.
Thank you.
I think Elliot wants to play this one.
Wow, I don't know if I can play something like that.
Hard after follow.
Anyway, the next song I'm going to play is instrumental. It's called Venezuela. I dedicate this to the people in Venezuela that are suffering right now for the dictatorship. Unfortunately, Venezuela is the third country most dangerous in the world right now. I'm trying to get my parents here because it's not safe there anymore for living. So, for me, emotionally, it's really hard to play this song because so many memories. So, I hope you understand. Thank you.